y'all were the band for Tainted Angel for Chris Wall.
Yeah.
Was that right when y'all got to town, or a few years after?
So when we moved to town, the two people Dad told us to look up were Robert Earle and Jerry Jeff, because Dad knew Robert. Because I'm pretty sure this is true. I think Dad's the first guy that ever recorded one of Robert's songs. And so when we moved to Austin, we looked him up. Like we didn't have Robert's number, but we went to the
Back when you
Ziegenbach Fest, and Robert was signing autographs at the merch table, and Cody and I went up and we're like, hey, you remember Dad? His name was Muzzy. And he was like, yeah. And he was super cool. And I don't know if we got his number or whatever, but at that point we knew him and he knew us. And
and same with Chris. You just
Cody called Chris. We were living in an attic in South Austin above the house that we would eventually move into. But for the first 5 or 6 weeks, we were living in an attic. But I remember meeting Chris, because the guys were all old enough to go out and drink, or at least had fake IDs. And I was 18 and I didn't have a fake ID yet. So the first couple of weeks, the guys would all go out and they'd hit 6th Street and get banged up and come back to the attic and be 3 a.m, hey. And I'd be like, guys have fun.
This is fun. This is cool. So glad we moved down here.
I'd be up there writing songs and shit. But one night they came back and Chris was with them. They went out and saw Chris, and Cody went and talked to Chris. And so they came back and brought Chris, and they were all trashed,
Dude, Chris was always so supportive, especially of younger talent or younger artists.
Well, and that's, I know I don't think we'd met before we got here, but the first time I remember hearing about you, or at least the first time I acknowledged your presence, was when he talked about you in that song, my old friend Jack with the beat up Ford.
Yeah.
And on
Tainted Angel.
Yeah, no, was it Tainted Angel? It was.
Yeah.
No, so I guess I thought I knew you before then.
Yeah,
but I remember being okay, he's legit.
if Chris is name dropping him, he's legit.
But yeah, so Chris immediately he came down and saw us play at Lucy's, because we had got, and this was actually when we first met him. This was way before the Lucy's gig, or way before. I mean, a couple weeks. But shit moved really fast when we moved to Austin.
Mm-hmm. I remember
reason.
that.
But Chris was always right on board, and as soon as we got ourselves into this deal where we had made a record with the wrong producer, and it was recorded out of phase, and it sounded like shit, and we were didn't have the money to pay for it. It was one of those.
Did it get released?
Yeah, it was Milliken.
Oh boy!
So our classic Reckless Kelly, our first huge terrible mistake, as far as business goes, we made a record at Arlen with a guy from Austin. He wasn't really a producer, but we met him. He was hey, this guy's got a really nice van, and he wants to produce the record, type of thing.
He's gonna let us do it for $20,000 up front.
Yeah, so we went and did this record, and all of a sudden we owe Arlen $10,000, and we don't have that kind of dough at all. I mean, we can't even pay rent, and but we had a decent record, but was recorded out of phase. So Chris came in, paid off the studio bills, picked up the record, put it on his label, and had Merle Brigante, a great producer from here in town who produced some of Chris's shit. He came in and remixed it at his place.
That's what I mean, man.
And
how
so
cool is that?
That's Milliken was all about Chris. He made that record happen, big time. Came in and was just I got a few bucks. You kids seem all right, so let's fix this. And then he put us on his label and put it out.
I remember Chris had a ball during that time too, because he loved you guys, and Pat was starting to bubble up and do well, and Corey was. And I remember it was one of Chris's favorite pastimes, and line out to everybody who was what the pecking order was as far as talent goes.
Really?
Oh yeah, he was ruthless. But
oh god,
luckily I didn't live here, so I didn't have to be in the lineup.
Oh god, I don't know where we fell in that.
No, he loved you guys, and he would say, I remember he'd go, Bruce has more talent in his pinky than Charlie has in his whole body, but Charlie's got charisma.
Yeah, that's a total Chris statement. No, he really did. He got right behind us. He was great. He was one of the reasons. He got Dale Watson to come out and see us play, and he brought Bruce to see us play.
Yeah.